Krishna. Thank you all so much for being here at the Sunday Feast. I'm attending after many years, and it's wonderful to be here with all of you. The topic we were asked to speak on today is connected to a festival that's taking place tomorrow. And it is the appearance day or birthday of Lord Balaram, Krishna's older brother. And we will speak at length tomorrow about the qualities of Lord Balaram, Krishna's brother. But today specifically, we wanted to speak about one particular quality of his, which is that he is the original spiritual master, or the Adi Guru, the first teacher, the first spiritual master. And particularly wanted to think about with you together this aspect, or this what is the meaning of guru? What is the meaning of a teacher, of a spiritual master? So, there's a clock right there. Okay, so each one of us will speak for about 15 to 20 minutes each. And if we have some time for questions afterwards, we'll take questions. If we don't have time for questions, then there'll be an opportunity to have questions in a more intimate setting at the Krishna house just across the street after class. So we'll be there as well. So that's the plan. And I'll go first, and then Rupeshwar Gaur Prabhu will speak, and then Kalakantha Prabhu will wrap it up all together. Okay. So I want to begin by giving you a little story, metaphor. This is given by Socrates in one of his writings, where he gives the famous analogy of the cave. Have you heard this analogy before? The metaphor of the cave? So he talks about how there's several people who are tied or seated inside a cave, and they're looking at the wall of the cave. And on that wall of the cave, they see various shadows dancing, people going, things happening. And as they look at those shadows, they're completely mesmerized, engaged in that world. Different people are doing different things. It's like if you've ever seen shadow puppets. It's like that. And it's entertaining, it's engaging. They're trying to figure things out. What's someone doing? Why are they doing what they're doing? And then at some point, someone from outside the cave enters and tells them, you know, there's a world out here. You should come out and see. And they say, no. We can see very clearly right here on the cave wall. We're learning so many things. Mm-hmm. And the person insists and says, you must come out. Not everyone does, but a couple of people do. A few people come. And as soon as they come out of the cave, what happens? Their eyes are blinded by the brightness, by the light. They've spent all this time inside the cave, right? And so the few people come out, but a couple of them are blinded and they run back in. They say, this is too scary. This is too much. I like my life in there. But those who stay, of course, see that there's a whole colorful world that is not just black and white, that is awaiting for them. That is essentially the function of guru. A spiritual master or a teacher is someone who enters our life and shows us that which we are not able to see. This is how Krishna defines guru in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. He says, Arjun, you should go to a spiritual master, to a teacher, because this person can show you the truth. Why? Because they are tattvadarshis. They have seen the truth themselves. So he calls them seers of truth. And he says, therefore, they can show you the truth. So I want us to think a little bit about this idea of seeing, of being seers of the truth, tattvadarshi. The problem that we face in this world, what the Upanishads, what Bhagavad Gita, what Bhagavatam describes, is not the main problem in this world, is not evil. It's not that people are horrible. It is the main problem is not anything that is terribly negative. No, the Bhagavatam, the Upanishads, they say the main problem in this life, in this world, is merely that we cannot see. Our eyes are blindfolded. In fact, there's a beautiful passage in the 6th chapter of Chandogya Upanishad where it says that imagine if we were blindfolded and we were stumbling around and someone came and took those blindfolds off of us so that we could walk our own path. How grateful we would be to such a person. That person is a tattvadarshi, someone who has seen the truth and therefore can show you. Now, because the problem is one of darkness or ignorance, and the solution is to see, therefore, the guru's role, the teacher's role, is simply to point, right? To say, this is where you need to look. Look here. How many people here have seen the first version make of the Lion King movie? Has anyone seen that? Yeah, okay, quite a few. If you haven't seen it, your kids have probably. There's this wonderful scene in the Lion King. So if you know the story, I won't go through the whole thing, but there's this young lion named Simba who's left home because of misunderstanding, and he feels himself guilty for having caused the death of his father, which is not true, but he thinks like this. And he's wandering around and he can't find his home. And he doesn't want to go back home. And he's living his life in this really miserable condition until he meets someone named Rafiki, who's a monkey. And this monkey tells him, actually, your father is alive. And he says, no, he's not. He's passed away. He said, no, I'll show him to you. And Rafiki says, come, follow me. And Simba goes, there's this beautiful scene in the cartoon. He's going, Rafiki goes into a thicket and he tells Simba, come, follow me. And Simba at that point has to make a decision, has to make a choice. Should I follow him or should I not? And it's a little bit of a risk. It's a little bit of a challenge. There's some fear involved because he doesn't know where this person is taking him. It could be a trap. But he has this sense that this person is trustworthy. And he thinks if he just makes the leap and follows him, his life will change. So Rafiki enters the thicket and Simba jumps in behind him. And just before he jumps in, he turns and looks back. And there's this moment where he says, you can see he's thinking, my life will never be the same again if I see what this person wants to show me. You know, they say, once you see something, you can't unsee it. So this is what the guru does. Rafiki goes in, Simba's following him, and they come to a lake. And he parts the thickets in the lake. And Rafiki, in his wonderful accent, he says, look here, look here. And Simba looks in, says, there's your father. Simba looks into the lake, and he just sees his reflection. And he says, that's not my father, that's just me. And Simba says, no, look harder, look harder. And Simba looks inside, and the vision is transformed. Now he doesn't see himself, he sees his father. And he comes to recognize who he actually is. You have forgotten who you are, Rafiki tells him. You have forgotten who you are. And when his vision is transformed, now he can't go back to his old life of ignorance. He can no longer wander aimlessly. He knows he has a mission to do. He has some service to do. He has to go back to his kingdom, to his father's home. So this is the story of the living entity in this world. Brahmanda Brahmite Kon, Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai, Bhakti Lata Bij. we too are wandering around. And somehow, by good fortune, we run into Rafiki. You know, Rafiki in Swahili means friend, right? So we run into a friend. Prabhupada explains that the relationship between guru and disciple is founded on firm friendship. That's the basis of it. And only when there's that mutual respect and understanding, they actually like to spend time with each other, then instruction can take place. So that friend, when we meet that friend who says, come, I'll show you something. I'll show you who you actually are, who you are meant to be, what your potential is. That person is Guru. There's this beautiful story in the Ramayana, the wonderful pastimes of Ram and Sita, an epic that's known all around the world, and perhaps you've heard the story before. But when Lord Ramachandra loses his wife, Sita, because she's been kidnapped by this terrible demon, Ravana, then they're looking for them everywhere, for her everywhere. And Lord Ram is assisted again by monkeys. And there's 4 parties of monkeys that are sent into different sides of India. But the party that goes south is led by Hanuman. And Hanuman is, of course, Lord Ram's greatest servant. When they arrive to the southern tip of India, they receive a clue that Sita might be on the other side of the ocean in Lanka, in the island of Lanka. So how do we get there? And all the monkeys, they're trying different things. They first try what they know best, which is jumping. So one tries to jump and thinks, nah, I can't get all the way. I'll probably fall in the ocean halfway there. That won't work. Another one says, I could get there, but I won't have the strength to jump back. Jambavan, who's not a monkey but an old bear, he says that in my prime of youth, I could have done this 100 times back and forth. But now I'm too old. And he's very, very old at that point. So everyone's confused, they're all distraught. And they look around, they notice Hanuman is missing. Where's Hanuman? So Jambavan says, I know where I can find Hanuman, and he's the one to do this. So he goes to Hanuman, and Hanuman's sad, and he's moping, and he's frustrated, because he wants to help Lord Ramachandra. He knows this is his mission, but he doesn't know how to do it. And Jambavan comes to him, and he says, Hanuman, you are the one who's capable to do this service. And Hanuman says, I can't. All of you are so much more powerful than I am. How can I do this? And Jambavan says, you have to remember who you are. You don't remember this, but in your childhood, you jumped to catch the sun. You thought it was an orange and swallowed it. You are capable of doing this, Hanuman. And as he reminds Hanuman who he is, Hanuman feels empowered. He feels like he can do this. And as he feels empowered, he stands up and he climbs to the peak of the largest mountain on the shore. And with a loud cry of Jai Shri Ram, he jumps off towards Lanka. The Valmiki Ramayana describes this very beautifully, that with so much force does Hanuman jump off that the entire mountain shakes, and all the trees that are blooming with white flowers, they shake the flowers off the trees. And because of the wind that he has created, Hanuman is known as the son of the wind god, then these flowers get caught up in the wind behind him. They trail him for some time. So he looks like a comet streaking across the sky. In that moment, Jambavan served as Hanuman's guru. Why? Because he showed him he showed him what his true potential was and how he could achieve that potential in the service of a worthy goal. This is what it means. This is what it means to be guru, to find a teacher. The guru cannot do the jump for you. When someone cannot see, you cannot make them see. All you can do is point. You can say, look there. The seeing we have to do. The jumping we have to do. We have to figure out we have to walk the path. No one can walk the path for us. Everyone has to fly their own plane. But the guru's there, tattvadarshi, to point, to say, look there, look there. See the trees? Between the trees, there's the moon. You can see the moon there. And in this way, the spiritual master opens our eyes. And once we see that, then we recognize who we are, what our potential is, and how we can use that potential in the service of a greater goal. So that's the simple idea behind who a spiritual master is and why all throughout the Vedas, in every tradition within the Vedas, in every scripture, in every teacher, in every book, if there's one thing that they're all consistent about, every single one, is the importance of finding a spiritual master, someone who can guide us. From the Vedas to the Upanishads, to the Puranas, to the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, there's so many different opinions about things, but there's no varied opinions about this. Everyone agrees on this. We need someone who has seen the truth, who can show us. So that is the foundation of what Guru is by Krishna, according to Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita, is someone who gives us sight. And the word sight, this is not external, but insight into who we actually are. So with that general introduction, now I'll give it to Rupeshwar Gaur Prabhu, who will help us go deeper into the meaning of who is Guru and what is the relationship between Guru and disciple. And then Kalakantha Prabhu will talk about some of the roadblocks, why we hesitate to surrender to the spiritual master, why what are some of the hesitations that we might encounter. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Radhika Raman Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, Guru is very important. I'm sure all of you must have already got the idea about. Guru plays a big role. Now, in the story of Hanuman, Radhika Raman Prabhu pointed out that Guru sometimes empower us so that we can achieve like something amazing, something extraordinary for the pleasure of the Lord. But sometimes Guru also subdues, suppresses. So same Hanuman, when he had all the powers, he got the blessings from all the demigods and became really powerful, but then immature. When he was small kid, immature, he went out and flew to the sun and then ate the sun. So disrupting the whole system of the universe. So then the rishis, they had to come and then make him forget that he has all these powers. So sometimes it's also the duty of the guru to make sure that when the follower is not so mature, then guru also makes sure that the disciple is, the follower is like kept, in a right position, right status. There is one example, like one person would come to a sadhu. Sadhu was taking bath in the Ganges. And then there was a young man who saw, wow, sadhu, let me accept him as a guru. Let me become devotional. So he quickly goes to the guru and then folded his hand and said, Guru, please accept me as your follower. He said, very fine, come in the water. So as he goes in the water, he caught him by the neck and then put his head down in the water. And for a while, he was like kept underneath, he was suffocating. And then he was brought out again outside. And when he came out, as he was breathing for a while, again, he put the head in. He did it 3-4 times like that. And then again, as he was breathing, then the sadhu said, "How do you like it?" "What are you trying to do? You're trying to kill me or what?" Then he said, No, I just want to ask one question. What were you thinking about when your head was inside the water? And says, "Of course, air, oxygen. I want to survive. I want to live. That's what I was thinking." And then the sadhu said, "The moment you think that the Lord is as important as oxygen for you, you come to me. Then I will initiate you." Right? So sometimes Guru is quite heavy. Guru in Sanskrit itself means heavy. Right? So sometimes Guru are not like pleasant. The way they speak to you, it's not pleasant. But we have to understand it's for our benefit. Right? So for that, first we have to understand there are 4 types of Guru. Of course, there are like many types, but they are categorized into 4. The first one is called Bhartma Pradaksha Guru. Right? That means the person who brings you to Krishna consciousness, who brings you to the Lord, right? Who introduces you to the process of bhakti. That is the first Guru. And that first Guru can be anyone or anything. Sometimes, a book of Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes a human being. Sometimes friend. Friend would say, "Hey, let's go to ISKCON." "What is that?" "Ah, it's a temple. Don't worry. Don't worry about anything. You get free food." That's how many people are brought into to Krishna consciousness. First they come for free food, prasad, which is delicious, which is like amazing, and they are karma free, because they are offered to the Lord, right? So when they start coming and then they become devotee, then the one who introduces eventually disappears, vanishes. So Bhartma Pradaksha Guru is the one, right, who introduces you to Krishna consciousness. And sometimes it can be anything. I remember hearing the story of Kadamba Kanana Maharaj, how he became devotee. It's a very interesting story though. So I heard like a dog was the cause of his being a devotee. So I thought maybe this is an exaggeration. Then I was fortunate enough to be with him, be his student, when I did Bhakti Sastri in Mayapur. So that was the opportunity I got to ask him, "Maharaj, is that true? Because of a dog, you became devotee?" And he says, "Very true." And I said, "I would like to hear from your mouth, from your lotus mouth, what really happened." And the story goes like, there's a small dog which belonged to his girlfriend that time, and then she loved that dog very much. And Maharaj somehow didn't have the much connection with this material world, right? He didn't want it to be engaged in so many things in this material world. But then he knew that he had to survive. So being not really active, he found the easy way. The girlfriend used to go and earn, and he just have to take care of the dog at home. And then he was living an easy life, right? So every morning, his girlfriend would go to office, and then he just have to feed the dog just 2-3 times, and then that's it. But amazingly, the dog's name was something special. The dog's name was Krishna, right? So his girlfriend that time, right, somehow heard this name Krishna and liked it very much. And because the dog was so dear to her, she named the dog Krishna. So Maharaj would go, "Krishna, come here, eat food. Krishna, do this, do that." He was doing that in the apartment. But then one fine morning, when she was going to the office, she forgot to close the door completely. The door was a little bit open. And Maharaj was, as usual, watching TV and then not much caring for the dog. So after a while, he realized, oh, I have to feed Krishna, you know. So he looked around, Krishna, the dog wouldn't come. Then later he realized the door was open. The dog is gone, right? So he goes outside. Oh, Krishna, Krishna, in the corridor. No Krishna. So when he went like downstairs, upstairs, no Krishna. And as Krishna was not seen, he was worried. Oh my God, who is going to feed me now? Because when she comes back, she's not going to like it, right? So I better find Krishna. So he went all the way, in the building, up and down, quite a few times, he didn't find. So he decided, maybe Krishna went out of the building. So he went to the security guard and then asked, did you see Krishna? What Krishna? He says, dog. Did you see the dog? Yeah, I saw one dog going out. Oh my God, now the dog is out in the street. Oh my God, if I don't get the dog, then she will kick me out. And I'll have to go to this world and then work hard for my food. So he was trying to find out. So that was in Amsterdam, right? So you know the Amsterdam, how it is made. This is this canal, and then the roads on the both sides. So he was going on the road, Krishna, Krishna, trying to find the dog, you know. And from the other side, there were a group of devotees coming, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Right? And then one of the devotees saw him, you know, screaming, Krishna, Krishna. Oh my God, in the mid of Amsterdam, who this pure devotee is, searching for Krishna. Right? And then quickly ran to him and then hugged him. Pure devotee. Who doesn't even look like devotee. Right? So then I said, and he was surprised, you know. What are you doing? He said, you're looking for Krishna? He said, yes. I know where Krishna is. Wow, you know Krishna is, where Krishna is. Quickly. Find me Krishna. So then the devotee brought him to the temple. And then he showed, like Maharaj, you know, the deities, Radha and Krishna. There goes your Krishna. Where's the dog? What? Dog? No, this is God. It's okay, that is God, but where's my dog? My dog Krishna. Then, of course, like Maharaj realized that it was not the Krishna he was talking about. And the devotee also realized that it was not that Krishna Maharaj was asking about. But anyway, Maharaj liked the deities. He said he found them like really beautiful. So anyway, after enjoying their darshan for a while, he asked the devotee, do you have food? And they gave him very nice food. And then he was so satisfied. And then he asked, can I have this food every day? Oh yeah, you can stay here, you can get is it free? Oh yes, you do a little bit service and then you get free. Wow, I should not go back home. You know, if I go back home, she will kick me out. I think this is better. So as he stayed in the temple, he liked it more. He started becoming devotee, he got his head shaved, and one day he was going in Harinam. And then his girlfriend's mother was passing by, saw him. Oh, where have you been? My daughter has been searching for you. So then Maharaj was thinking, you know, I already got the taste of Krishna consciousness. No, if I say that I know her, she will take me back. So she said, does your daughter's man has a shaved head? No. Does he have sikha? No. Does he wear a dress like this? No. I'm not that man, okay? So then Maharaj continued his Krishna consciousness. Right? The dog who was named after Krishna was his Bhartma Pradaksha Guru. Right? Then after Bhartma Pradaksha Guru comes Shiksha Guru. Now Shiksha Guru is responsible to give you knowledge. All sorts of knowledge. All different levels of knowledge. Right? So the scripture says that any level of devotee can become a Shiksha Guru. I still remember, you know, one of our gurus said, if you are 1 month old, in Krishna consciousness, you can preach to 1 week old devotee. If you are a 1 week old devotee, you can preach to this new devotee, newcomer. Like that, anybody can become devotee anytime. Even in Srila Prabhupada's time, we hear that devotees are not even like 6 months old, and Prabhupada would instruct them, go to this country and open center. But Prabhupada, we don't know anything. We just met you. We don't know anything about Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada would say, just speak what I speak. No, what I spoke, just speak. And many devotees would like take a Walkman, record his voice, and then listen to Prabhupada. And they would put earphone and then put chadar around them, and then they will play and hear what Srila Prabhupada said. And they will say, Krishna is God. Krishna is God. And then it takes a while to listen to Prabhupada and speak. And then the audience would say, wow, this sadhu is very, very good thinker, He thinks deep and then speak, So like that, we just need to follow the Guru. And then Siksha Guru comes and gives us all different kind of knowledge, which is required for us to go deeper in Krishna consciousness. And eventually, when we become prepared, then comes Diksha Guru. Now, Diksha Guru is one among Siksha Guru who really takes responsibility of you. Right? So according to Shastra, there are like 3 stages of bhakti. Sambandha, Avideya, Prayojan. Don't worry about the words, these are Sanskrit. Sambandha means connection. You need to have, before you know anybody or you dedicate yourself to anybody, you need to have connection. For example, if you want to get married, I don't think anybody would choose life partner just randomly. Right? Can you imagine? You wake up in the morning, today I've got a mood of getting married. So let me go to the street and then see, is this okay? No. If this okay? No. You don't do like that. You go to a person, you know about that person, you go deep, you get knowledge, likes and dislikes, understanding, status, everything. Right? And when everything matches, the relationship is built. That's called connection. Then comes Avideya. Avideya means process. Just knowing is not enough. Just knowing is not enough. You have to practically apply that in the life. So Srila Prabhupada very well introduced bhakti as a devotional service. So when Prabhupada, in bhakti, if we say bhakti in Sanskrit, it doesn't necessarily indicate that you have to do something. But when Srila Prabhupada translated bhakti into English, he very nicely translated as devotional service. Actually, the word of bhakti into English is devotion, but he added the word devotional service. So as soon as we come to bhakti, we know that we have to do something for Krishna. Right? So this avideya part, is done by Siksha Guru. Siksha Guru is the one who gives you all the services and everything. And Diksha Guru is the one who creates the connection between you and the Lord. Then by the endeavor of Siksha Guru and Diksha Guru, you are connected with the Lord. That's called Prayojan, the result. Right? Then comes the 4th Guru. The 4th Guru is called Chaitya Guru. And Chaitya Guru is nobody else but Paramatma, the super soul. Now the super soul, everyone has super soul inside. Right? Now I would like you to close your eyes just for a while, just for a few seconds. If you're ready, I want you to talk to Paramatma. Talk to your super soul for a while, just for 30 seconds. Okay, slowly open your eyes. How many of you could talk to Paramatma? Yeah. Somebody was talking though, isn't it? You're trying to connect with something, somebody, but we don't know. if it is our mind, if it is our intelligence, or if it is just our imagination or something like that. We don't know. So since we are not in the condition, not in the stage where we can understand or literally listen to Paramatma, we are not at this stage recommended to talk with Paramatma. That's why we need a living guru. No, when we have a guru in the form of human being with whom we can talk, right? That's called Shiksha or Diksha Guru. That's why they are in human form. We can talk to them, we can ask questions, we can hear from them, we can understand their likes and dislikes. Same with the Lord. We can go to the Lord and pray. Every time we must pray to the Lord. Hey Radha Krishna, please, so and so. We have to pray to the Lord. And the Lord, they reciprocate. But because of our disqualification, we can hardly see or hear Lord reciprocating to us. We can always see Him like holding the flute and smiling. Hey Krishna, I'm having a hard time. Yeah. Can you please help me? Right? He doesn't answer because it's the fault is not Krishna's. The fault is ours. We are not pure enough to hear Krishna. That's why Krishna, created an agent for us. And that agent is called Guru. Krishna speaks through the spiritual master. Krishna speaks through the Guru to us. Whatever we need to know, whatever Krishna wants us to know, right, He speaks through the Guru. That's why in 10 Nama Parad, the third Nama Parad, it says not to obey this spiritual master, and to consider spiritual master as an ordinary human being. Spiritual master is not an ordinary human being, even though he eats and sits and walks and talks like us. Even though he looks like us. Even though he walks on the ground. He doesn't walk on the air, 1 feet above. Sometimes we have that imagination of a guru means something mystical, something superpower, No. Guru is that person to whom Krishna uses him to communicate with us. That's a living Guru. So each time we have that kind of Guru, to whom we have full of faith, we are full of faith, we have surrendered to that Guru, and that Guru, like Radhika Raman Prabhu said, a qualified Guru who knows Tattvadarshi, who has seen Krishna, who knows the science of, going back to Godhead. That person can guide us into spiritual life. Okay, thank you very much. Kalakantha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Very eloquent introductions. Thank you both. Has anyone here studied psychology? Let's see your hand. You psychologists?
Wow.
I had a good friend, Madan Mohan Prabhu, who went to college and decided to study psychology for the same reason that many people do. He wanted to understand the problems in his life, and he wanted to get a grasp on what is going on. So he took 1 year of psychology, 2 years of psychology. Then the third year, he went to his professor and he expressed a doubt. He said, I'm concerned that what I'm learning in your class is not true. And the professor was very candid, and he said, where in the contract does it say that what we're teaching you is true? We are going to teach you what you need to know to earn a living in this field. Madan Mohan Prabhu was not satisfied with that answer. So he dropped out of college, and he and his wife moved to Los Angeles and took an apartment next door to 3764 Watsika Avenue, which is the Hare Krishna temple in Los Angeles. And from there, the rest was history. We have many gurus in our life. We have teachers, we have parents, we have mentors. And yet, when it comes to the very purpose of our life, we may not have somebody who is helping us choose the proper course of action. Generally, in human society, there are 4 pursuits: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So dharma means to be a good person, maybe to go to church, to be responsible, to have a job. Artha means economic development. Kama means enjoyment. And then moksha means liberation, relief from it all, vacation, maybe for a long time. So it goes something like this. Monday through Friday, we go to work, dharma. Friday, what happens? You get a paycheck. Right. Artha, economic development. I've been working all week. I've got some money. What am I going to do on Saturday? Kama, I'm going to go enjoy myself. And then when I wake up Sunday morning, I think, what have I done? I'm going to church. God, never again. Moksha. And then Monday comes, and it starts all over again. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. These are the ordinary pursuits of our lives. The guru is he who teaches us what is called prema pumartha mohan, the higher 5th goal of human life, which is prema, which is love. Not love for, in the ordinary sense, but love of God. You know, when we love somebody, what do? We think about them all the time. We love to do things that please our beloved. We meditate and wonder, how can I make this person happy? In spiritual terms, this is called prema. That loving propensity is not directed to someone or something in this world that will be gone in time. Rather, it's directed to someone who will be with us permanently, always, under every circumstance. The guru is the one who can teach us this prema. So as Rupa Chandra Gaur Prabhu said, there are many types of gurus, 4 types specifically. When it comes to this point of getting the purpose of our life right, how do we find a person who can help us with this very foundational idea, to get us to the point of investing our time in a way that will bring us the greatest result, beyond the ordinary cycle of dharma, artha, kama, moksha? Many people doubt the idea of having a guru for the simple reason that if you are going to get an enlightened person to guide you, how will you know who that person is? If you're going to buy gold, but you don't know how to gauge the carats, the value of the gold, or the purity of the gold, then somebody might sell you fool's gold and convince you that it's the real thing. And then it's very embarrassing. Nobody wants to be made a fool of. Nobody wants to be cheated. Therefore, there's a natural reluctance to make a commitment because we lack the understanding about who can really help us in this higher pursuit. So bhakti and the bhakti literatures help us become educated consumers, to help us understand the actual qualities of a genuine guru. There are many gurus who can take our money, but there are very few gurus who can take our karma, our sinful reactions from which we are suffering. So the genuine guru has a number of qualities that we can objectively value. First and foremost, do you think a guru should have a guru? Exactly, yes. A guru must be practicing what he or she teaches. Yes, I can help you just as I have been helped by my guru. And in fact, if that system holds, it would go back many, many generations, where this knowledge of prema, of love of God, has been passed down successfully from guru to student, from guru to student. Secondly, the credentials of the guru must include knowledge of the books, the literatures of spiritual life. In other words, one is not just presenting himself as a teacher, but can actually demonstrate knowledge of the subject matter. And finally, the guru can also be recognized by the impact that he or she have had on other people's lives. You can see people have been transformed by the association and instruction of such a person. So in this way, we become educated consumers, and that natural apprehension about committing, about accepting somebody, can be overcome by knowledge. Srila Prabhupada came to America in 1965. He was 70 years old. He had about $4 or $5 in his pocket and a 1-month sponsorship by a stranger in Butler, Pennsylvania. So you can imagine Srila Prabhupada, who had never been out of India, going to a new country, not backed by any institution, having only a few copies of books he had translated to English for the Western audience. Here is another qualification of a genuine guru, that a person has so much connection, so much prayojana with the Supreme, that he or she is fearless. Srila Prabhupada's given name is Abhay Charan, or Abhay, which means fearless. Fearless at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So when Srila Prabhupada arrived, he said, when I got off the boat, I didn't know whether to turn left or right. While he was on the boat, he was writing a prayer to the Super Soul. Please guide me so that what I'm saying can have some impact. I see these people are very wrapped up in their dharma, artha, kama, moksha. They're very much under the influence of the modes of nature. How will they ever listen to what I am saying? If I tell them to stop taking intoxicants and eating meat, they'll probably say, please go home. But he said, if you so desire, you can make my words powerful. So therefore, if you want me to dance, then I will dance. I will dance. Let me dance as you like. This is the qualification of a genuine guru. The genuine guru has no ulterior motive but to help. The genuine guru has is not going to gain something from us. Rather, he's going to give us this precious gift of sight. He's going to point us in the right direction. Many years ago, my wife and I had a business partner who was a widow, very nice lady, and her husband had died. And another business acquaintance asked her to marry him. She said no. And we said, what is your thinking? She said, I'm not going to marry anyone who cannot do more for me than I can do for them. This is an educated consumer. What the guru can give us is far greater than what we could give. Therefore, we should know that if a guru has some reason for wanting us to be a disciple, this is not a qualification of the guru, other than wanting to help us be the very best person we can be. That's the guru's qualification. Now, how about our qualification? What do we need to bring to the table? Really only one thing, and that is the sincere desire to go beyond the ordinary pursuits of this life. A sincere desire to resolve the problems of our life on the deepest level. And a sincere desire that is strong enough to inspire us to make a commitment, to give our attention, give our trust to another person. So this is perhaps the biggest difficulty. To put our trust in somebody to help us. And be confident that this person only wants to help us and has no other reason for entering this relationship. So Srila Prabhupada was such a person. And he gave his life for the benefit of all of humanity. And as we see now here in Dallas and in so many places all over the world, people are transformed by what he has to give. So I was fortunate to meet Srila Prabhupada, to take initiation from him. You know, I'm way over the hill and on the way out like most of my compadres. But what is the legacy that Prabhupada has left? That's what all of us lean on who are taking part in this great Krishna consciousness movement. And if you're thinking about taking part in it, then consider this. Take Srila Prabhupada as your Shiksha Guru, as your instructing guru. You have no need to worry about committing to anyone or anything, but rather just try to become an educated consumer. Try to understand the qualities of the guru. Try to understand the meaning of real spiritual life. This is what Srila Prabhupada offers in his books. He said, I will live forever. I will live forever in my books. And his books are the foundation of this whole worldwide wonderful bhakti movement. So it's a very, very gentle and wonderful way to approach this big question of guru. That you can approach Srila Prabhupada through his teachings, through his books. If you find the shelter that you're looking for there, if you find the knowledge you're looking for, if you feel after studying and understanding these books that yes, I can trust this person, then you can consider the next step. And that what is that next step? Then to find the living representative of Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
And through that bold step, overcoming the fear, overcoming the uncertainty, through knowledge, through trust, through determination to know the truth, we can take such a person as our guide, as an act of submission to Srila Prabhupada. So in this way, the chain of spiritual masters and disciples goes on. It's an eternal chain that we are all invited to be part of. The mature fruit of a life spent trying to please Krishna, trying to connect with Krishna, is that one will naturally come to a point of offering shelter to other people. One will come to a point where the great gift of spiritual life will be so overpowering and have resolved so many of one's own problems that one can turn one's attention to helping others solve their problems. This is the genuine guru, just there to help. In other words, to become a disciple is to join this chain of disciplic succession and to become a guru as well. This was the instruction given to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya, who is on the altar here on our left, he was the great exponent of bhakti in the line of Lord Krishna about 500 years ago. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a renunciate, a sannyasi. As he traveled through South India, he came to the home of a humble, very honest Brahmin priest who was so enchanted by Lord Chaitanya. He said, I want to immediately just leave everything, leave my family, leave my home. I just want to be with you. I want you to take you as my guru. So Lord Chaitanya gave him a very important instruction. He said, Yari daha tarika Krishna upadesh, amara gyai guru hoy, tara edesh. There's no need to leave your family. There's no need to change your situation in life dramatically. Just learn the science of Krishna, and whomever you meet, give it to them. And that way you become a guru and try to deliver everybody whom you can. So this is the ultimate outcome of taking a guru, that one can come to the point of then giving shelter to others. Just as when you plant a small tree, first there needs to be a fence around it so it doesn't get trampled. But then when the tree becomes strong and stout and big, then it can give shelter to many others. The guru is the one who plants the seed of our spiritual life and nourishes it and shows us the techniques of spiritual life that make it grow. So as a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, I'm forever grateful to him for giving me these techniques that help me resolve the problems of my life in so many ways. And now I and many others are here to help others who want to learn this great science and take this step into a loving spiritual relationship with a guru. Ultimately, Srila Prabhupada wanted us all to become gurus. So please consider taking that step yourself, either to establish the relationship or to bring it to its maturity by yourself sharing this great knowledge with others. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sringarupa Prabhu, we have ended on time. Isn't that amazing? Right? Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Radhika Raman Prabhu. Thank you, Rupeshwar Gaur Prabhu. Thank you, Kalakantha Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, my question is,
You'll have to speak.
my question is for Rupeshwar Gaur Prabhu. When you are talking about the Chaitya Guru, I've heard from seniors that as we serve the deities, our Shirodakshay Vishnu, the four-handed Chaitya Guru, becomes the deity that we are serving. So it's no longer the Vishnu form, but it's the Krishna, two-handed Krishna. So as you're saying, close your eyes and talk to your Chaitya Guru. For me, at least because we are living around the dham,
Okay.
for us, everything is Kalachandji. So for me, the Chaitya Guru is Kalachandji. Though he doesn't talk to me, I talk to him through my prayers.
Okay.
So please, put some light on it, Prabhu. Thank you.
So we have to put some lights on.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, same with the process of worshipping Shaligram also, right? So whatever we have inside, the feelings for the Lord, they are like many forms, like the deity form, the pictures, or like Manasa Puja and all these kind of things we can use to worship the Lord. But then again, yes, at the same time, right, we need to also like make sure that we are qualified enough to do all these things. So Rupa Goswami, in Nectar of Devotion, he suggests, there are 3 ways we can do bhakti. Sadhan bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. Definitely, we are eligible to directly practice prema bhakti. Also bhava bhakti, right? And we have like sadhan bhakti in any way, right? But then when we practice bhava bhakti or prema bhakti directly, there is a greater chances that we become a fake devotee. That's called sahajiya. Why? Because all the activities, all the prayers, all the rituals, everything, all the process we do in bhakti, at this moment, we are doing from the level of mind. The feelings, the bhava, which we are getting towards Lord, or we imagine that Lord is reciprocating with us, is from the level of the mind. And mind is not enough to, take the spiritual activities. Mind is not enough. So that's why there's a sloka in Bhagavad Gita which says, Brahma bhuta prasan atma na shochati na kangshati sama sarvesu bhutesu mad bhaktim labate param. Right? So when we go to the level of the soul, when we become self-realized, then only this bhava and prema, they get manifested. These things actually work. So it's not the feelings of the mind, but it's the feelings of the soul, which is actually bhava and prema bhakti. So Rupa Goswami says, for this moment, where we are doing everything from the level of mind, sadhan bhakti is best. So in sadhan bhakti, there is no use of Paramatma. There is a use of Shiksha or Diksha Guru. Okay? Thank you.
Basically, Prabhu, thank you so much for that. Basically, I was saying not taking the instruction from Krishna, but the prayers where we do our prayers.
So we need to pray, yes. Yeah. We need to pray. Even though we don't hear from Krishna, we need to pray. Actually, bhakti has 2 main things we need to do. Bhakti, two main actions are required in bhakti. One, this is by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he says in Jaiva Dharma. The first is the devotee association. It's very important. I don't know how many times you devotees or people come to the temple. For me, as I joined Krishna consciousness, in the beginning I was like occasional devotee, then I became weekly devotee, right? And that was not enough. Just to become an engineer, I had to go to school and college for 16 years without failure. If I'm absent, I'm not allowed to take the exam, But then we are talking about achieving God, which is more serious than becoming an engineer, right? So I was thinking, just by coming once in a week, I don't think I'll be able to see God, right? Then I decided from 2010 onwards, I decided, full-time devotee, right? There's no other way. So you become full-time devotee. I mean, of course, like sometimes we can be away from the temple and yet become full-time devotee. Always concerned, always thinking about how to improve, develop the temple. That's also full-time devotee. It's not that you are serving in the temple only, that what it means, right? So first is the devotee association. When you remain in the devotee association and the temple, there's high chances that you'll be reminded of Krishna. And the second thing is, we just have to surrender. It's so easy process. We just have to go in front of Krishna and says, Krishna, I cannot do more than this. No? Tomorrow is like Balaram Jayanti and then we are fasting. I don't think all of us, we like fasting. But just a small difference in the spelling, fasting and feasting. Feasting is better. In Jagannath Rath Yatra, I love that festival. You know why? Because, there's feast all the time. But fasting is like very difficult. But, fasting is required. Fasting is required. No? So I just got lost, I mean. I was like, okay.
Thank you so much.
I can continue later on. Maybe Krishna made me forget because we're getting out of time.
Thank you all so much. Let's give a big Hari Bol to our wonderful guests. Hari Bol!